Hello, everybody. It is me, Internet Girl by Cat's Eye. Mojang's controversial villager update, the one that locked the mending trade behind the hardest to get villager in the entire game, well, it might be coming back. Today, let's take a look at just what those updates are, why they are probably coming back, and how they might be changed. Oh no, do you hear that? Oh, he's sad. Somebody just left a sad, mean comment about his odd appearance down below. Oh no. The only way to make it up is to say something nice to him down below and smash the like button too. So this one takes us back. The year was 1993. Bill Clinton was president. Many moons ago, when Mojang was still cooking up big major updates, they introduced a controversial villager overhaul that aimed to rebalance villagers and to make them a little bit more, fair. Now, initially, this villager rebalance had one villager and one villager alone in its crosshairs, the librarian villager. You know the whole trade re-rolling thing? You don't have the enchantment you want, no big deal, break a lector and place it down again. Well, yeah, that whole jazz right there, kind of cheaty, admittedly, and in Mojang, they grew frustrated and tired of players trying to enchant just like this. Instead, they wanted players to use the enchanting table, as if that's any better. These villager trade rebalances would in turn make getting your hands on any enchantment that you want, including very important treasure enchantments like mending, way harder. Now, if you weren't around in the community back in 2023 when they were introducing this stuff into the snapshots, you missed a lot of controversy. People didn't like it. Whether it be the not-so-warm reception from the community or just time constraints, whatever it was, eventually, this villager trade rebalance, it was thrown onto the shelf to collect dust for Mojang. So just what were these villager trade rebalances? Yes, well that's a great question. Our first one here, and definitely most controversial one, involved the librarian villager. If we take a look at the librarian villager's trades, right off the bat, things are kind of looking a little familiar. But if we go ahead and, try and do the old-fashioned trick, re-roll the trades a little bit. Jimathan takes the trade, and we take a look again, and okay, a little different. But whatever, we know how it goes. Break the lector and place it down, whack the sheep to get out of the way. And then smite 2. Okay, so, we're starting to make a little bit of progress. Switching up the enchantments, we'll go ahead and level the lad up. Take a look at level 2. And now, level 2, well, I'm pretty sure that trade is very different. We'll take it. Level number 3 rolls around. We take a look at the trade and punch 2. Well, that's terrible. On a different note, if we go ahead and slide over into a different biome, maybe a desert biome, take a look at a librarian villager, fire protection enchantment inside of the desert, it's a little bit steamy. Sliding over to the savanna biome, take a look at another villager, no cigar, that's fine, you go ahead and hold your secrets. Curse of a binding. Now, why would I ever want to buy that? Alright, so what Mojang went ahead and did here is basically biome-locked specific enchantments to specific biome librarians. Courtesy of the Minecraft wiki, here is a small little chart that will show us what potential enchantments each biome bookkeeper could potentially get. So if we're in the desert, fire protection, thorns, infinity, and maybe, rarely, an efficiency 3 trait. Now, the interesting thing to take note here, this is the trading table overall for every single biome. When an enchantment is called a special trade, that means it will only appear at the master level and will probably be expensive. So, for example, let's say you wanted to get your hands on mending. That would mean that you would need to find a swamp villager, turn it into a librarian, and then level it all the way up to the max level to hopefully get your hands on that 10 emerald mending trade. Ugh. You go through all of that grind to get your hands on that juicy mending trade, and then bam, the villager wants to sell it to you for 64 emeralds. Oy, that's terrible. But no big deal, you just find another villager inside of the swamp biome. Wait, what's that? You had to move the villager thousands of blocks potentially to get to the swamp? Oh, yeah, you can see the problem there. Now, it's very important to note, and a point that we'll circle around back to later on, that at that point in time, the villager trade rebalance, something like the happy gas that makes it way easier to move villagers around, it did not exist. Even something simple like putting a villager inside of a boat, get in a boat, and then attaching a lead to it. I'm not sure if leaded boats were a thing quite yet, but even if they were nowhere near as smooth and easy to control as they are nowadays. But that was just one of the villager overhauls. There were way more. Our other one here, well, it came from our friend, the Armorer Villager. The Armorer Villager's trades were entirely reworked as well. Level 1 here for this Armorer, kind of interesting. We only have one trade here. More on that in a minute, just remember it. We'll go ahead and take it. We leveled the Armorer Villager up. We'll go ahead and get to level 2, and now, just like with the librarian villagers, our trades are biome determined. Ooh-wee, that's where this beautiful chart comes in. The armorer villager traits that were experimental. Our biome in which the armorer villager resided would determine what would come next, and later on, what kind of good trades we would get here at the end. The taiga armorer villager was probably the most useful one, being able to exchange worn out diamond armor for brand new shiny pieces. Now, I'll be honest here, in the great villager trading stallout of 2023, I don't think it was the armorer villager's fault. It's been a while now, so I can't fully remember, but I don't think very many people had issues with the armor villager traits. But Villager Overhaul trade rebalance, in the context of 2023, we're already halfway there, baby. In 2025, Mojang did a fascinating thing to the other half of the Villager trade rebalance update. Taken straight from our Villager trade rebalance, the much better, more improved Wandering Trader. You take a look at this trader, and now it will buy things from you. The items that the Wandering Trader would decide to barter to you, well, that was essentially copy and pasted over from the Villager trade update. They're already in the game, and they have been for a while. Now, our other villager that was big and revamped inside of this trade experiment was the cartographer villager. At level 2, if we are lucky, we will begin to taste a little bit of brand new medicine. We have maps to the savanna biome and the taiga biome. Also ripped straight from the villager trade rebalance were the improved cartographer villagers with different biome maps. Initially, at their point of implementation, these biome maps were meant to help you find other villages in the world so you could get the other villager traits. But when they were pulled out of that experimental villager toggle and put into the game, it kind of just became more about exploring and finding things easier. Intriguingly, these villager trade rebalances, they weren't ever fully abandoned or removed from the game. Just put on hold, and then later on, 2 of them, the most sure ones, pulled out of the toggle and dumped straight up into the vanilla game. Well, now, we actually have brand new clues that the rest of the trade experiments, they might be coming. First up, the one that we didn't mention quite yet, the one that everyone always seems to forget, World Generation, they structure loot tables. Well, they were actually changed, adjusted a little bit inside of this villager trade rebalance. Certain structures would have higher probabilities of finding specific enchanted books, the ancient city with mending, the pillager outpost with quick charge. The idea of rebalancing structure loot, well, it looks like that might be something Mojang already has to do in this update. With the name tag now being craftable, its usefulness and coolness inside of structure loot tables, well, obviously, has been way diminished. It doesn't really matter at all if you find a name tag, because you could have crafted one with a single nugget and leather. If Mojang is going to treat craftable name tags just like they treated craftable saddles, then it's fair game to expect some loot table rebalances inside of this update. What better way to re-incentivize players to explore their world than easier to find enchanted books? Next up, 26.1 snapshot number 1. This one was a banger and a giant technical one. Inside of this snapshot, very intriguingly, the villager trades, they were all data driven. So you could basically remake the villager trades, or the developers could, way easier than ever before. And inside of all of this data driving of villager trades, you have new things called trade sets, and you even had brand new components like additional trade costs, randomized dyeing inside of loot things, so maybe a villager selling, say, colored armor, randomized potions, and even more. Now, why would the developers go ahead and rewrite villagers and make them all data-driven to just let them sit there and not change anything with trade? Trick question. Development takes time. Time costs money. They wouldn't. And then also, implementing the villager trade rebalances, well, it would be relatively simple. You see, unlike some of our other experimental features that exist on Java Edition, the villager trade rebalance has been sitting, baked up, pretty much ready to go on either version of the game. That would greatly reduce the time necessary for development of this update. Now fast forward all the way up to modern day, what's happening in game right now, or maybe more so by the time you watch this video, what has already happened, are bugged trades that are bugged, well, only sometimes. When I was working on this video, which almost certainly is before the next Minecraft snapshot had come out, well, there were some very intriguing bug fixes going down over at Mojang HQ that seem to relate to, well, no, they literally relate to the villager trade rebalance. Over the course of multiple snapshots for 26.1, well, very strangely, for like the first time ever, they had a bunch of bugs pop up, and then, of course, the bugs, they would need to be squashed. Many times in the past, specifically in this modern drop era of Minecraft, when something is bugged, especially if those bugs seem to pop up somewhat randomly here. Well, that could often be a sign that Mojang, the developers, are working on that thing behind the scenes, maybe getting it ready for the next drop or just sometime soon. It almost seems like, if it hasn't already been fully announced and revealed, 26.1 is the perfect time to bring in the rest of the Villager trade rebalances. But the final thing I wanted to take a look at today is the Villager trade rebalances as a whole. Where did my little librarian go? He ran away. These Villager trade rebalances here, so clearly they were not the very popular initially. Even though, yes, we do have the happy gas to be able to move villagers around our world way easier than ever before now, will Mojang go ahead and just straight up take the old trades and just slap them into the game? Well, I highly doubt it. You see, if Mojang were going to one-to-one just take the old experimental updates and dump them into the game exactly how they were, I think they probably would have already done that. Now, what Mojang will maybe change about these villagers and their trades, how they're done, I'm not too sure, and obviously there is no way to tell. Like, we can't just guess random trades here. But another problem with the librarian villager, once we max this buddy out, it gives me a name tag now, and dude, I don't even want a name tag. I could just craft it. Why would I pay 20 emeralds? This trade is an absolutely busted one. And even worse, a villager experiment or not, the name tag trade is there at the highest level of the librarian villager and is literally pointless. Maybe that's another sign. So we're either going to have name tags pop up way earlier on in this trade cycle life here, or this cost get greatly reduced. And then enchanted books, biome locking them, may be an okay idea, but the specific levels being locked and these terrible prices, not the best. On the other hand, biome locking some of the best villager trades to biomes that do not still have villages, maybe that's a little bit dated. Perhaps it's finally time to revisit some of our other biomes in the game and get a couple more villages in. Now, the armorer trades here, I wouldn't be able to tell you what's up here, so they're a little bit bugged currently. I thought everybody liked them, and though they were good, I didn't see much of a problem myself, so I'm not too sure what they could go and change with these ones. But some sort of adjusted armorer villager, just like the librarian, is very likely as well. Now, of course, that leaves us with so many other villagers as well. Like, what will Mojang do to the farmer, the stonecutter villager, the cauldron leather worker? Well, it kind of already looks like they might be working on them as well. Villager potion trading was one of the functionalities added in that initial snapshot. Villager armor dyeing was also one of those functionalities added in that initial snapshot. If the villager trade experiments are finally coming back, I would wager that a couple of other villagers might get some new trades as well. After all, since the initial trade rebalancing in 1.14, there has been so many new items added to the game that the villagers should be able to sell us now. And who knows, maybe even if we're extra lucky when they're reworking the villagers, at last, for the first time in like a decade, we could get like 1-2 new villagers with some workstations as well. Like, where is the woodcutter villager? This is a straightforward one. Put a woodcutter in the game, a saw or something, man, and then we can get the stairs easy. We get the variants. Oh, please. Get down from there. That's really dangerous, dude. Don't do that. So, what do you think? Do you think something is coming when it comes to our villager trade rebalance? Your takes, thoughts, and opinions, throw them down below. And thank you for watching. Oh, wait, what's that? You want to see my beautiful villager statue again so you can try and copy it? Well, yeah, here you go. It's like, you know, decently big. It's pretty cool. Goodbye, my friends. Go have a good day, and I'll see you all tomorrow.